You're listening to the PTO Unlimited podcast.
Welcome back to the PTO Unlimited podcast. My name is Brett.
I'm Josh.
Alex.
This is episode 60.
60.
I didn't get anything because it's 60. You know?
Go on.
That's like a milestone in its own.
Yeah.
Even number.
Because I was going to say, because it's an even number?
Yeah.
So 62.
Such a milestone.
It ends in 0.
I can't wait for 62.
What happens at 62?
We can quote Waterboy. 62.
62.
Yeah, gosh, what a week, man. I'm not at 100% today, so if
Josh has a little bit of like a cold or something going on.
It's kind of weird. Like it'll come in waves. Like I'll be feeling ill and then suddenly I'll feel great.
You know,
It's
I'm going to
odd.
say, like, in all the years I've known you, this year has sucked for you.
I know. I said the same thing to my
Like,
boss.
2017 has not been your year.
Well, that
It hasn't
one
been
year
fun.
where the thing happened probably wasn't a good one either.
No, that's
it wasn't.
2015.
That's 2015. Maybe that's what did it.
Yeah, no. But anyways, moving on from there. What do we want to start, guys?
Well, before, I got a quick question about that.
Yeah.
Will you ever tell that story? Or is
No.
it too bad?
No.
Okay.
I've thought about it. It may.
Maybe someday.
Maybe someday.
No,
Yeah.
I know everyone's going to be wondering now, but it was just...
Sorry, forget about that.
That now that they're going to be like digging
It was
into
just
it.
a very traumatizing thing, so we maybe in the future we'll talk
see.
about it. It is definitely a story on its own. So
What'd y'all do over the holiday weekend?
Food.
the weekend or Memorial Day?
Holiday weekend.
Okay. You want to start
I
Saturday?
guess the question is, did you get a holiday weekend?
Yeah.
You did. I did. Did you? Or
Kind of.
did you?
A little
Like
bit.
I don't know that.
Was your employer or is your place of employment open on Monday?
For 4 hours.
4 hours?
Yeah.
They were going to be open most of the day, and then they decided,
Yep.
nah.
Half day. We're out.
They just all kind of
I
said, all right, we're
imagine
going.
you weren't doing a whole lot of business on the sales side, so
Oh, I don't
Was the
deal with
sales
that.
side even open?
Yes.
Oh,
I don't
didn't know
deal with that. So that's not my thing. Anyways, yeah, it was a nice day, but for Memorial Day itself, except for the rain that kept on coming in and out
It came and went like
multiple times.
but it was very short spurts.
Yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, when the sun was out, it was absolutely gorgeous. It was like near 80. It was very pretty
it was a
outside.
warm day, but anyways,
I guess what we did for actual Memorial Day is we went over to my grandmother's house, which she kind of has a big chunk of land. You've been over there before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you witnessed me throwing my phone because the spider jumped on me.
oh my God.
And I broke it.
That's when you cracked your screen.
That was the first time I ever really broke a phone.
Oh, no. That was your Note 2, right? You didn't crack your Note 2.
Oh,
You just broke
honestly,
the
I don't remember which one it was.
Okay.
I just remember it was like the first year we lived here. And then
Yeah,
we were over at Grandma's pool, over with Brett. We were laying out in the sun, and she, like I said, she lives kind of out in the middle, not necessarily out in the middle of nowhere, but she lives like kind of like on the outskirts of the city, so she has a big chunk of land. And we were laying out there, and a spider got on me, and I was like, ah! And I had my phone in my hand. My initial reaction was to toss my phone in the air on the cement. It broke.
I mean, I've done things like that where I'll just be like swinging away. I remember when I dropped my phone down the stairs.
Do you
I don't
remember when you
what I
dropped
was
your
doing.
phone in the toilet?
Yeah, that's a story on its own. Back in 2006, it was 2006.
Yes.
I was working at Walmart and it was my day off, and I had my cell phone company went through Alltel. I don't know if you remember that brand.
my name, right? Yeah.
They were highly competitive with Verizon and T-Mobile and all that.
Which
And
out here, we do not have Alltel in Fort Wayne, or we did not. It was in Ohio.
yeah, I had to drive all the way to Defiance. But anyways, I was taking a piss
And you
and
had a hoodie on.
I had an over the head hoodie on, and the pockets huge.
Pocket is like the one
And
in front of you.
you would expect it to cradle what my phone is, and I lifted it up and bloop.
I think most of the time phones into the toilet is women because they put them in their back pockets and they sit down for everything.
I do see that a lot.
I know. I guess I don't think about that. I usually don't put my phone in my back pocket. Like I'm not one to carry my phone around on me 24/7, so that's probably why. I mean, knock on wood. I'm not gonna get my phone on the toilet.
There was a time I want to say it was in Chicago. I was using my beard trimmer, and it fell into the toilet, and you were trying to flush it. Like, you put your finger on
my initial reaction.
We're going to flush Josh's razor.
My initial reaction, I don't know why, but my initial reaction was to, like, I went to go, like, catch it, and it fell in the toilet, and my initial reaction was to go push the lever to flush it. I don't know why, but he's like, what are you doing?
Why?
I don't know. That was
makes no sense.
Initial reaction, you know?
The best one ever still is our friend Rick, and I would witness this happen back when he had a razor, because I've mentioned it before.
The Razor phone, not a razor.
The Razor phone from Motorola. He dropped it in wing sauce.
Oh yeah, you did talk about that on the podcast before. That was like a year ago
that I mentioned it. Yeah,
yes,
it was early.
Yes.
I'll never forget that.
No,
I don't think he will either. Especially if I keep bringing it up.
Yeah. Oh, we saw him on Saturday when we went out.
Why don't you talk about that?
We went to Flashbacks. Alex got to sit in VIP.
Oh my gosh, that's right. You took a picture of it, didn't you?
I didn't know they had VIP.
They do.
When you first, it's the couches when you first walk in, and then to the right. That's considered VIP because it's got leather couches.
Is it always blocked off?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it?
So this is Alex and Ashley and
some random dude. I have no idea.
Why did you get to do that?
Because he was sitting in VIP.
He was sitting in VIP, and Ashley was talking to him, and Josh is like,
Alex, just go sit in
VIP. And I was like, wait, what? And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go do it real quick. And I went in there, took my picture, and the guys, like, there was like a group of guys that were in like some bachelor party or something, and they started to get up to talk to me. I was like, okay, bye, and I got up.
I wonder what is required to reserve VIP.
It's probably just like a deposit or something. Like, there was a wedding party there, so I'm sure that's what it was.
Yeah. That same.
I'm sure you get bottle service. Like, they probably it probably comes with a bottle of something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most bars do that.
The same night, I was sitting outside, and I'm gonna just mention this right away. I vape every now and then. I've never talked about that on the podcast. And I was out filling up one of my tanks.
Oh, yeah.
And this guy walks up to me. It's me and all of our group of friends. And then he just comes in. He's like staring at my handwork, like what I was doing. And we're like, can I help you? He's like, I'm just watching. Hold on. Okay. So I was done filling up my tank and everything. Guy handed me a business card. He's like, I think we can do business together. Come and see me in the VIP. And this guy was a security and logistics dude.
Like, that's what it said on the card.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, they had nothing to do.
It made no sense
at all. He just, like, walked up to Josh and said that.
So you didn't go talk to him?
No.
I would have.
Why?
Just to see what possibly connection there could be there.
No.
That's the thing. Like, I was wondering. Oh, I didn't.
It was a cool kind of looking card, though.
I got another story about flashbacks too.
What?
The same night I saw. Do you remember? I don't know if I ever showed you the photo, but there was this guy who had the smallest man bun.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It grew. He was there.
Takes time.
Yeah.
But he was there. Like, the picture that we posted like a long time ago on social media of like the back of this guy's head was like this tiny little man bun.
Yep. I was like, what
and
is
Josh
the
goes,
point?
Oh, look, it's been like a year. Look who it is. It's man
Alex,
bun.
it was 5 months.
Wait, what was it?
New Year's.
It was New Year's?
Yeah.
Oh man, it seems so much longer.
I know.
than that.
It's been a long few months of this year.
So how was it altogether?
It's a great time.
It was actually a great time. There was no drama, no. Like, there was nothing. It was a really good time. Like, it was needed. Like, it's been a while since I've actually had like a legit great time at Flashbacks.
Did you get smashed?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say smashed. Like, at the end of the night, like, I've learned over the years that once I get the hiccups, I have to stop. Like, well, I need to stop before I get the hiccups, because once I have the hiccups equal hangover.
Okay.
And all I had was like, this is what I get for I don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
And I think I had 3 small cups of like it was vodka and Sprite. 3 small cups. And I nursed that we got there at like 10:30? 10:30 to 3.
Yep.
And that's how much of a lightweight I've become.
10:33.
And we were dancing, so it was going like I was sweating it out.
Guys,
Yes.
It is 8:00.
Oh yeah, you got to do your thing.
You're gonna do your announcement. Can I just say the one thing that happened to me in the bathroom?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, so I do have a funny story that I completely forgot about. That happened to me. It was at the end of the night. I still have no idea, like, just how this happened. It was like, I went to the bathroom. That was the one thing, is I only went to the bathroom once, which was weird. And the one time I went to the bathroom, it was right before they were shutting down the bar. It was like last call. And I go in there, and I'm standing in line, and this young girl, like in her early 20s, comes into the bathroom, jumps through the line, like I'm almost into the actual bathroom. Goes into the actual bathroom and says, sorry guys. She's wearing some black tight, like spandex or tights or something, with like a black skirt and some other stuff, but she's wearing tights. And she looks super drunk, and she goes into the middle of the bathroom, grabs her crotch area and pulls down, and she goes, oh, I just needed to fix my taint.
That's the best. That's the best thing I've ever heard.
She was like, it wasn't a funny thing either. She was being dead serious. Like she looked at us. She's like, "Oh, thanks, guys. I didn't mean to cut in line. I just needed to fix my taint." Like,
that's weird.
Oh my
man.
god! Like all of us girls that were standing in line looked at each other like, okay. And then she walked out.
You do your thing.
Like, you couldn't have hid behind someone and done that. Like, you actually had to go into the bathroom where it's lit and everybody can see you, and you just like
yeah, pretty much just drop trow.
It was so funny. That was really the only oh yeah, and then I had some guys at the end of the night. I went up to the bar when I realized I had the hiccups. I'm like, shit, I need to go get water. I'm like, no more drinky. So I go up to the bar all by myself.
No more drinky.
That's
no more
a mistake
drinky
right there.
Yeah, that's usually a mistake, especially at the end of the night. And like I said, there was not a bachelor party, like a wedding party actually that was there, and the groomsmen like hound dogs.
Yep.
And so there's a couple of them up at the bar. I'm going up to the bartender to wave him off and say, hey, I need some water. And he's standing off to the right, and so are those guys. And, I'm waving at him. He comes over to me. He's like, what do you need? I'm like, water, please. Okay. He starts filling up my water, and you could tell, or like I could tell these two guys were like, hey, doctor. And he's like, no, man. And he was like, push him. So as soon as I was about to grab my water, he leans over to me and says the most basic pickup line or most common pickup line ever, and leans over and goes, so
come here often?
Do you come here often? And I was like, I grabbed my water, smiled at him, and said, nope, not really. And I walked away.
Oh crap, that's
oh
good.
My gosh. So there's a couple.
I was just kidding too. I didn't think
no, that was the most I was like, really? That's the line that you're gonna use? I mean, good for him for actually coming forward and talking, but is. I mean, do you come here often? Really? That's the oldest line in the book.
All right.
So, but that was funny. So, Josh.
T-shirt Tuesday.
Ends
right now.
Well, and it's Wednesday.
Well, it's Wednesday, but the whole thing about T-shirt Tuesday was we start the giveaway the first Tuesday of the month. Mm-hmm. So that's the significance there.
Who's the lucky winner?
Sarah Kazada.
Sarah Kazada. Oh, your sister.
My sister. Yep. Now this is done by a randomizer, so it's
completely random. So you can, Josh, you can explain how the randomizer works. It's like an actual app or something.
He probably doesn't know how it works.
No, I know how it works.
Oh.
It takes the comments and says users can comment on this post, but only once, and it picks the random winner. So my sister Sarah won. That's pretty awesome. But don't let that get you down. We're doing another one in 7 days, 6 days.
Yeah, but you want to say the changes on the next one?
I think we're going to do it on Twitter.
Yeah, we will make the official announcement when we actually do the post, but I think this time, just to kind of get more traction, just because Facebook's kind of an old way of doing things.
It is.
And Twitter and Instagram seem to be the big things now. So yeah, I think we're going to do the giveaway on Twitter. So, and I think we have quite a big following on Twitter, and we get a lot of comments and people talking to us through Twitter. So,
that's not to say that the people on Facebook.
No.
Some people like one or the other.
Yeah, I feel like Facebook has really really died down over the last 10 years. So
because it's all ads now.
It's a lot of it's ads, and a lot of it's drama.
And we're one of them.
Yeah, we're one of those ads. That
we
you
are an
ad
through.
But yeah, so I mean, congratulations to Sarah.
Yep.
So we'll go ahead and send out an email and let her know. And
Nope.
What?
They have to private message us.
Oh, they do.
So they have to listen. I'm not announcing this on Facebook.
Okay.
They have to private message us, text us.
Whichever.
It's my sister. She's got my number.
She's gonna hear it anyway. But yeah, so next month we'll do another giveaway for one of those shirts, and yeah,
go from there. Yep. So
cool.
So moving on. So I think we're done.
One quick question about flashbacks. Was the bartender that we know, he's not there anymore?
He's not there anymore.
I've asked around for him. I don't know where he's at.
Like all of a sudden he's just gone. I don't know where. I don't know if he went to another bar or what.
Does it matter that we mention his name?
No.
We don't know his last name.
No. Nobody. I don't even know if that's his real. Like Josh and I were discussing it. We don't know if that's his actual name.
I think it is, but.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I have coworkers who work around the city. Like, they are big on the bar scene. And I was like, do you guys know who Tommy is? He bartended at Flashbacks, or he also bartended at Pierre's. And they're like, oh, yeah, he looked like this and this. I was like, they completely opposite kind of look. Like, he's a Tommy that we know. He's a really thin, middle-aged man. They were talking about a young, big guy.
I don't know. That was like one of my favorite. Like, I noticed that when we went there. Like on New Year's and this time that we went to Flashbacks this year, it's kind of a downer not to see him, just because he's always been, from like the time we were 21 until now, like he's been our bartender.
Once you know a bartender and make it known that you'll take care of them as far as tips go, they take care of you.
Well, it's not just that. He was also just like, he's just
it's cool to know somebody that works at the place you're going to.
Kind of like
he was your first bartender, Alex.
He was my first bartender. He really was at first, and I really enjoyed Tommy. So but yeah, that's I think that's really as far as Memorial Day weekend, we did flashbacks. We can go into
playing and watching.
No, not that, but we can go into the other thing that happened on Saturday when I watched my nephew.
The children's
book?
Yeah.
Do you remember what it said?
Kind of. So,
you know 5 little monkeys jumping on the bed, right?
Okay, so at the end of the night, I'm reading him a book before he leaves. It called, the 5 little monkeys jumping on the bed kind of thing. And we get to the very end, and it says,
because they all fall off and hit their head.
And the last couple pages of the book is, we flip the page after all the monkeys were injured. And now it shows 5 little monkeys with the little cloth wrapped around their head, like they hit their head, and they're sleeping in the bed, and the mother's just kind of got the lights off, and she's checking on them is the picture. It said now I don't remember the rhyme or whatever it said, but it said something along the lines of, the 5 little monkeys are now all asleep.
They all fell asleep.
They all fell asleep, and Josh goes,
that means they died. They all had concussions
and possible,
died, or they're dying.
I was reading it out loud to Josh. He goes, "They died." I'm like, went to go smack him. I'm like, Jeremy's gonna remember you said that.
Well, you're not supposed to go to sleep after a
you hit your head. You're not supposed to.
That's the adult in us going overboard into the story. Going, so they all are
taking it literal.
I took it literal. I was like, that's not good at all.
No, and I read him some other book, something about finding the letter X. It was actually pretty fun to read to him. Yeah. But we also did another funny thing that happened is we went to Lakeside Park and played Pokemon Go with him. Mm-hmm. And I just went ahead. Usually I'm the one holding the phone, and he can see what I'm going to catch, and then I catch it. And this time I was like, nope, here, I'm going to give you the phone, and you'd catch it. And we were walking, and in order to get your egg to hatch into a Pokemon, you have to walk. You have to keep walking, and it helps if you walk fast, not slow. And it took a couple rounds around the park for him to realize to not look at the phone all the time and wait for a Pokemon to pop up, and that it would make a vibration and a sound, so he could actually look up. Mm-hmm. So every time there was a Pokestop that he wanted to spin, or an actual Pokemon that popped up, he'd go Pokestop, and then all of a sudden
he would stop
right in front of us.
He would stop, and we'd almost run over him.
We would almost run over him, and then he'd go, all right, Poke go, and then we'd start walking, and then he's like, why isn't my person moving? It's because he was walking at like such a slow pace, like because he was looking at the phone. Like you have to look up and you have to walk faster because if you walk slow, your portion's not going to move. We're not going to hatch our egg. So what does he do? He was like Chicago walking.
No, like he had his shoulders back and he was like,
but before he started doing that, I was like, you have to walk faster. So he just started like moving his feet faster in place. Like, no, you have to like almost run. And he goes, oh, and then he just like books it and starts running. So we're like, oh, we can keep up with this pace. He like wore us out. And then I think we did 2 or 3 times around Lakeside Park, got in the back of the car, and he's like, my legs hurt. I'm like, good, we wore you out.
Yeah.
But that was a lot of fun. And then
I played some Mario Kart with him.
Yeah, played Mario Kart. It was just a fun evening with my nephew.
You said he was good.
He was
at
good.
Mario Kart.
He is.
He got last to like from like 12th to 10th. Like,
well, it might have been a bad night or something.
Like, but the way
the first couple times I've ever played it, he's beat me.
The way he showed his anger, he just like swings his fist. I'm like, hey, it's okay. You got the next race. It's like he keeps his cool pretty well.
No, I mean a couple times I'll let him win, but
no.
Yeah, there was a couple times, but
they gotta learn.
When the day that was Christmas, then we got the 64 out. Mm-hmm. We put in Mario Kart 64, and he was kicking me and Paige and Jake's butt at Mario Kart.
Mario Kart 64 is like,
but I think like that's easier for him to like. That controller might be easier for him to handle.
He was using the Wii U gamepad. That's big.
Oh, that's probably why he was having issues with it. He's got tiny hands.
Used to it.
Right.
Really, I think that's all we did. Yeah. We opened up my grandma's pool. Mm-hmm. Disgusting.
I bet.
Like the 15 minutes we were outside, finally opening up the pool and taking the bricks off the tarp, it poured. Mm-hmm. And as soon as we were done, it stopped. So that was a lot of fun.
What about you? Did you do anything?
Not really. No? I was finishing up my vacation, and so I didn't really do anything.
Let's drop into playing and watching.
Okay.
Yeah, we got
a lot of playing, a little bit of watching.
I saw that
wait, other way around.
I saw that you downloaded the Batman games. Like you decided to pull the trigger on that.
What?
You got the season pass.
Oh yeah, well they're on Telltale. Has a sale this week.
We were watching Hulu last night, and all of a sudden I just got this bloop, and I was like, "Oh, Brett must have pulled the trigger on the Batman games."
I just had the last 2 episodes, and they were $10, so for both of them. So
that's not bad.
I got that. I was gonna play 4 probably tomorrow.
Okay, but moving to what you've been.
So first, I'll talk about Logan.
Oh, so you watched the Noir edition?
I did.
Oh, you watched the Black and White edition?
Was it fine?
It was fine. I mean, for first viewing, I'd rather have seen the color.
That's what I told you to do.
But I didn't want to waste the money that I spent to rent it.
I get it.
So it was fine.
I can see it being a good movie in black and white.
One thing I don't quite get is that the reason I picked the one that I did was because it was the 4K. Mm-hmm. Well, the whole point of 4K is...
brilliant picture.
Well, I guess that's not quite true because HDR is color range. I don't think it was their 4K Blu-ray isn't specific to HDR to my knowledge. Mm-hmm. So therefore you have a 4K, but it may not necessarily work best on HDR. So it has a higher resolution, but maybe the color range doesn't matter as like an HDR. I have a 4K HDR TV. So a black and white HDR makes no sense because there is no color range there except from gray to dark gray.
Like 50 Shades of Gray.
Right. So it was fine. I think I'd rather watch again. I laughed. There's a part where...
we've seen it twice.
We've seen the movie.
Xavier's taking pills. He's like, I want to see it. And he goes,
yeah. Like an old man. Yeah, that was really funny.
What did you think of the actual movie? Did you like it?
Yeah, it was fine.
It was fine.
It was different than what I thought. I didn't expect this whole cross-country trip to take the little girl, so it just kind of... It wasn't what I
It was not anything that you would have expected. No. Like, the trailers made it look completely different, which I liked. I liked how they did that. They flip-flopped it.
They went through the Dakotas, which was pretty interesting. Because North Dakota had the place where they were crossing over to Canada.
The thing I don't quite get is why he is old and...
His powers are...
Yes.
Depleting.
When
there is an explanation.
X-Men
oh, did we never get to that?
Origins, he's ageless in X-Men Origins. Yeah.
Alex has the theory.
Okay, so we discussed this I don't even know if I can discuss it now. I might just have to reference you to the video that explains it. But I don't know if you remember last year, but me and the girls at work were having this conversation as why does Wolverine not age? And we discussed this as a podcast. I don't remember what we said, but that was a topic. Well, then we watched this Logan, and I'm like, wow, he's dying. He's aging. There is a video out there by, do you know who it was? Oh my gosh, it's a YouTuber that we watch a lot.
Is it Matt Pat?
I think it's Matt Pat.
Like
I'm
Film
pretty
Theory?
sure. I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is. But he goes into because it's a theory. Okay. Yes, yeah, it's Matt Pat. But he talks about in great detail why he's aging.
I'll have to check that.
There's a couple reasons that I can just give you like a bullet point on in case the audience is wondering.
Yeah.
It's his adamantium. Mm-hmm. His body's rejecting it. And
and over his body is like his cells are splitting and making new cells like you do when you age, but they're doing it at such a rapid pace now that he's older, and the adamantium in
other way around.
What?
Other way around. It's not, the cells aren't generating as fast.
That's what I mean.
You said faster.
Oh,
well,
okay,
because it took him longer to regenerate than Logan.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of
that makes sense because he didn't get the adamantium till he was much, much older.
Yeah.
Because he goes from a kid to an adult to for years and years and years he's the same age to where.
So really, it's the adamantium that is killing him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's.
But it goes like it's really deep, and it's a very good explanation. Mm-hmm. Like he did a really good job looking into this stuff.
Matt Pat always does.
I don't know how he does that.
That's his job.
I know, but it's amazing what he talks about.
Do you ever watch Game Theory or Film Theory?
Mm-hmm.
He just goes into some really deep explanations that are very, very good.
Oh, yeah. There's some good ones. But anyways, moving on from there.
Watched a couple other ones, and I'm going to go into detail on two of them.
Okay.
But I watched TMNT 2 again, Out of the Shadows, because I had only seen it once.
Yeah, that's on Hulu right now, I think. We can
probably
watch it if we
I know the
want to.
first one was for a while.
Yeah.
Or it might have been on Amazon. I think it was on Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched Hell or High Water, which is a movie that's been out for a little bit.
Hell or High Water.
It's got Chris Pine and what's his name? The guy from X3, Ben. What is his name? He had the wings and got the wings cut off.
Angel.
Yeah, but what's his real name?
Oh, I don't know what his name is, but I know who
I've
you're
only
talking
seen
about.
him in like two movies.
Ben Foster.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Him and Jeff Bridges, and basically about these brothers that are robbing banks. And I won't say why, but it was good. It wasn't quite as good as the trailer made it seem, but it was worth a watch.
Yeah.
I watched Terminator 2 just because it's in my iTunes collection. I'm like, I haven't seen it in a while.
Terminator 2.
It's funny because Terminator 2 is like one of the best action movies ever, but when you watch it in HD, the makeup, and again, this is 1991. It was revolutionary for the time. The makeup's pretty bad when you look at it in HD.
Terminator 2?
Yes. Towards the end when he's getting tore up,
Oh, okay.
he's got that one piece over his eye. It's not so good, but it's real. It's not CGI.
Yeah.
So it makes total
means
sense.
it's good makeup.
Practical effects were a thing. That's why I like Star Wars Episode 7 so much, because it went back to practical effects.
Yep. And there's a part where his arm's ripped off, and you can totally tell that his real arm, and it's Arnold, so he's huge. His real arm is inside of his shirt. You know, so it's just stuff you didn't notice back then because it was standard definition, but it's okay because it was literally 26 years ago.
It's a good film for 26 years ago.
And at the same time, the special effects were really good. I mean,
yeah.
ILM, is like the kings of special effects.
They are.
And
Not necessarily. Look at The Mummy. ILM did The Mummy.
wait, which Mummy?
Both of them. The Mummy and The Mummy Returns.
Okay.
The
What about it?
effects in those films are the worst.
Really?
Are you kidding me?
I'd have to watch it again.
The Mummy Returns, especially. The Scorpion King?
Okay, that one's bad.
Oh, that's bad.
And how gray the mummy is in the first one. Like,
I'd have to look at it
It's
again
very
because
swimmy. You can
I
tell it's
never really
awful.
noticed it being bad as
We
a kid.
watched them.
Yeah, and I didn't say they were bad.
The
Brandon
CGI
Fraser's
is
in
the
it.
worst.
Well, maybe that series isn't one of their standouts, but for the most part, they do really good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, guess who did most of the makeup and the puppets and stuff?
Stan Winston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The king.
Gosh. Rest in peace, Stan Winston.
Absolutely. And I
he
guess
was
his
so
son,
talented.
His son runs the company now.
That's good. I hope
Yeah.
he's just as talented.
Winston still does it. So, I believe that was it for movies. And then I watched.
I think you're lying.
Well, I'm going to get to that. That's
Okay.
the last thing. There's one I watched a documentary, and I don't even remember. Oh, when I started up TMNT 2,
Yeah.
it was like an ad for it at the beginning, but it's called Turtle Power, and it's the definitive history of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That sounds fun.
And like, I'm a big Turtles fan and always have been, but I never really knew much about how they came up, like how they got started.
It was a comic book, I think, right?
It was a
Yeah.
black and white comic from Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird.
Yeah.
And they started it, and it was like a regional thing. Like, they didn't go national with it at first. It was just like in one shop, and it kind of expanded. And it's very interesting to see how it goes from a comic book to a cartoon
Yeah.
to the first movie. And I know I'm in the minority when I really liked the second movie, but most of the fans did not.
My dad just texted me. He said, "I want a T-shirt." Then he said,
tell them what to do.
Then he said, "Fidelio."
Fidelia, I don't know.
I don't know what that means. I don't know.
I gotta finish this thought.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
The second Turtles movie did not do nearly as good as the first.
Oh no.
But
You talking about Oots Out of the Shadows?
No. The original.
No, the original.
Oh, the original.
Secret of the
Well,
Ooze.
do you want to know why? If you probably never noticed this, but they never used their weapons in the second one at all.
Yeah.
Because they wanted it
violent.
child friendly.
Yep.
And it's like, frick off with
Teenage
that.
Mutant
It's
Ninja
TMNT. They are ninjas.
Well, the first
Ninja
one was kind of dark. And
That's okay.
there is some it's rated PG, but there's some mild cursing. So
Yeah.
it's
There is?
yeah, and then,
I
they took some heat because it was a kids cartoon that got turned into a live action movie. The one thing I did find I had heard about this, but the costumes were a major problem.
Oh, I'm sure.
Just because there's actual guys inside the costume.
Those have got to be really difficult to move
Get
in.
in and out of.
And they malfunctioned a bunch, and it was just it said it was very challenging to make it work.
When was the last time you watched the third one?
It was a while ago, but I couldn't get through it. It's bad.
I remember watching it as a kid, and I was like, "Oh, this isn't that bad." But now, as an adult, I'm just like, I don't want to ruin that.
Yeah,
That experience as a child, I liked it.
yeah.
But as an adult, I'm sure it's just the worst.
It's got to be. And they didn't go very far after the first movie as far as what it's turned into. I did not know that Eastman and Laird they basically sold their rights to the license, and I'm guessing that they didn't say who, but I'm guessing that Nickelodeon has. I think Nickelodeon owns the license now because the cartoon or the animated series is on there. But it's just a huge history, and you're talking, 1986 is when they put out the first comic, all the way to 2017, and it's still extremely popular. They went over the toys and what it took to get the toy line started.
I thought we watched a documentary on this. Maybe I just saw like a clip of it or something, because they show you the transition of how they started drawing the turtles, and then they changed it even more and more.
I'll show you the picture of the kind of the cover. But if you're a fan of Ninja Turtles or ever were, it's very interesting. So
documentaries are always fun for me. Alex does
Yes.
not like documentaries.
It depends on the documentary.
You
And
like March of the Penguins?
I
Just
did.
a quick. I watched the first episode of The Keepers.
Was it good? Or is it?
It hooks you because the first episode is just about the murder.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the one thing I thought was kind of odd was it is in Baltimore, and this nun that was murdered at the very end of the episode, and it's just kind of recapping the murder itself and why it was suspicious and all this. They kind of lean towards the cover-up possibility and the possible corruption in Boston in the 60s. So, or Baltimore. I said Boston last time. It's Baltimore.
Was Baltimore? Was it corrupt in the?
I don't know, and I don't know if I really like that it jumped to that in the first episode. It feels to me like maybe it was, and if it wasn't, okay, but it feels like they needed to put that in there to hook you for the rest of the season. I don't really like that, but that's just me. Okay, so finally, I know I'm going long here.
No, you're fine.
No, go.
Gladiator. It was fine. It didn't.
Brett finally watched
it didn't,
Gladiator. We need like a buzz button or something.
It was fine. I don't know. It didn't change my life, and maybe had I watched it in 2000, I would have thought what you guys think.
What do you think of the special effects?
They're good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now again, I watched it on DVD, which I know, is not HD. The story itself
the privilege.
is pretty. The story itself is pretty standard of a revenge.
It's kind of like Macbeth.
Yeah.
What I didn't really understand is he goes home, he sees his family swoon, and then all of a sudden he's a slave. Like, how did that happen? They just pick him up off his porch?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But he couldn't say to anybody, I'm Maximus, the general of the Roman army. And they, okay, well, here, you can go free.
They wouldn't do that.
They wouldn't?
No.
Okay.
It's been too long. I can't explain that.
I'm remembering this part. Like
I remember him coming home and seeing that, but I don't remember anything else.
Oh.
Or that part, or they're getting him or whatever.
That's when he sees them hung. And
I remember that part.
And then
then he's being carried in a cart because he's wounded.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't explain. That's the only plot hole of that film.
Why he automatically was a slave, or how he became a slave.
I'm not going to explain
and
anything, so I'm going to mess it up.
Maybe I missed it. I don't know. It's possible. I was kind of watching it here and there as I needed to do other things.
What'd you think of Joaquin Phoenix as the villain?
He was a dick.
He was.
Yeah, but I
hated
good.
him.
He was
wanted
a little.
To hate him.
He was a little bitch.
He was a little bitch.
I kind of saw it coming, and I don't normally do this because I like to let movies play out. I kind of pulled an Alex. But I kind of saw when his dad told him it's going to be Maximus, not you, he was going to kill him. And he did. So, and then I kind of saw, after that happened, I'm like, that's because I knew his family died.
Yeah.
I didn't know under what circumstances. I'm like, that's how his family died. He's going to send, soldiers to kill him. So, it was fine. I really liked the scene, the battle against the big dude when the tigers come out.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yep. I thought it was a really I'm not going to say it was like one of the best films, but in that time it was probably one of the best films for an action drama.
When it came out, that's what everyone was talking about, was Gladiator.
Right. So I'm glad you watched it.
It's about freaking time.
No. Now we're watching films.
Yes.
So
we'll trade off.
Do you want to make that public to everybody? Can I say what movies I brought for you guys?
Oh, I don't care.
I didn't even show you.
Yeah, I don't even know what you
looked
brought.
I looked at him. It was not Everett. Was it Everest?
It was Everest.
Everest. That was the one that you talked about.
There were two DVDs. One of them. You know what? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
One of them is Knockaround Guys, which I don't think many people saw.
That does not sound familiar.
It's pretty interesting. And then the other one was a Charlie Sheen, Emilio Estevez movie, Men at Work. Mm-hmm. And that's from the 80s, and you gotta take it for what it is in the time period.
Oh, no, I always do with the time period. I generally like older movies.
Yeah.
Have you seen Fight Club?
No. So that...
We're going to hand that to you.
There's
we
your
have
next
it.
movie, Fight Club.
That's probably one of the... Oh, dang. I mean, maybe you should have watched Fight Club before you watched Gladiator, because Fight Club has...
I know. I really like, not Gladiator, but something like Fight Club or Jaws. Like you already watched Jaws, but that's something I want to watch like with you guys, just to like see.
Fight Club has some twists and turns that
it's such a great movie.
I would like to watch Everest with you guys because that movie, the first time I watched it, it was completely different than what I thought it was. I had no idea it was based on a true story.
Is it a documentary?
No, it's a real movie.
No, I'm pretty sure I remember at least like
the first day that I watched it again like the same day because it fascinated me.
It's a mountain.
It is the tallest mountain in the world.
I know, but whatevs.
Whatever.
I mean, I'm not. I read books by their covers sometimes.
I know, but I'd really like to do just like you said that you watched Jaws already, and I'm like, man, that would have been a great movie since I'm the only one that had seen it. Like to watch with you guys both. Like Josh still has not seen Jaws, so that's something that maybe we need to do soon because I know that you've probably seen with how many YouTube videos you watch, you've probably seen a lot of the main parts of the movie, but it's still like one of those epic movies that will be popular for years to come that you have to watch.
I'm looking to see what Pirates of the Caribbean is getting.
Let's talk about Pirates 5.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's
so
right.
I stated on the precast
6 out of 10. That's not bad.
6 out of 10 is considered okay.
Say what I said was that it had the second worst opening in the series.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you hear that?
I read it.
Or read it.
I think it was in It was like, I think I looked at the review on IGN's review, and that line was like in the headline or like a sub headline or whatever.
Yeah.
But the only thing I have to say about it, like, I'm not going to say it. I am not a fan of the Pirates movies, but I think
You've only seen the first one, right?
Right. Depending on how much total this makes, if it does not make a lot, there will not
Disney's
be another
done. Yeah,
pirate
I know
movie.
about that. I know about that already.
Maybe that's already a thing.
As far as I know,
But-
my grandmother said that they was already lined up for the next movie.
A sixth one?
Yeah. The end of the movie, there's a stinger for another movie.
I know.
and
And that's not a spoiler. Everybody knows it to stay and watch to the very end. Like, that's... In the I'm not going to talk about the stinger. I'm just going to say the stinger made absolutely no freaking sense at all.
Right, I
It
agree.
really didn't. We
I'd
pondered
like
on
to
it. It
know
doesn't.
what they project for money they need to make to justify making another one.
I don't know. There's a lot of special effects that go into making those movies.
I think the budgets for the pirate movies
Making
are,
the ships and everything, like
up
those are
there.
real
Yeah.
for the most part. Parts
it
of
just
them are.
may. I mean, fiscally, it may not be worth it if they're not making their investment back.
Well, let's give our
We'll
reviews.
give our review on it.
I'll start first.
I want to say before we give our review that we once again had a conflict with going to the movie theater.
Yeah, Alex was so angry right when the movie
And
was
I
starting.
think that
too.
my review on this movie is what happened beforehand is
Wait.
going to reflect
it was
my
2
mood.
minutes in.
Question: what time of day and what day did you go?
4?
We went
4:30?
at 4
It was like 4:20, 4:30, something like that.
On what day?
Sunday.
Okay.
So it's there and then we went to the one where you choose your seats. Cold water one where you
Yep.
lean back. So that's
So
that's my
we
favorite.
walk in and
Josh bought these tickets Friday, right?
I bought them Saturday night while I was
Well,
drunk.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You told me you bought them Friday, you asshole.
I was going to and I forgot. Anyways,
Go on.
Anyways.
so we have assigned seats and it's specific to where you sit. I had it on my phone. I had my phone out. We go. It's exactly
Which he bought
4:30.
he bought the typical best seats, which is like up in the balcony area, like off the floor and in front of the bar, so that way you've got front center, not too far, not too close to the screen, just perfect seats. And he had bought them the night before we went, so we had those seats. Go on, Josh.
Oh, I can go now.
You can go.
Alex does this all the time.
I'm sorry, but
All
I'm really pissed off
the
about this.
time. Anyways, so we go up to our seats and someone's sitting in them.
Two young
in
fucks.
one of them. I was like, "You are in my seats." They're like, "Oh, we can't move. Someone's in ours." I was like,
They didn't say that.
"Yes, they did."
No, they said that this is my seat, is what they said.
No, I had it right there.
I know, but that's what the guy
F7 and
said.
F8, and they were sitting in F7.
He said, "No, man, my friend's sitting over there. This is my seat." Like, that's what he said.
I was pissed.
And Josh, like, held
But
up the phone in his face and was like, "This is my seat." And I was like, the seats right next to it were open. I'm like, Josh, just forget it. The movie's about to start. The previews are going. Let's sit down.
Star Wars Episode 8 was playing, and I was like, man, I've always wanted to see the trailer in 3D, and I
we
wasn't
went
able
to see it in 3D.
So we
anyways.
sat down, and then the guy turns to me. He's like, hey, man, we'll move over if you want. I was like, in my head, I'm like, oh, you
Now you'll move.
bastard. I was
We
like,
were already comfy.
I was like, nope, I'm good. But 10 minutes later, the movie's starting. Some bitch walks up to us and's like,
don't call her a bitch.
Okay, no, I'm not. I didn't mean that in like.
No, because she wasn't a bitch.
She was really nice, but she
She-
turned to Alex and was like, "You're in
my seat." And I'm like, and
so I'm
I
like,
just got pissed, and I'm like, and they're in mine. And as soon as I said that, those two young people got up and moved.
Yep.
I'm like, I am just.
That's another reason why I hate that theater.
I would have immediately, if the movie wasn't already starting, I would have gone to the concessions and be like, "Someone's in my seat. Can you please?" have
Yeah,
them moved?"
like, but the movie had already started. I'm like, just screw it, whatever. But she was really nice, tapped on my foot, said, "I think you're in one of our seats." And I just was like, already, like, it was just building because we'd already been sitting there for 10 minutes. And I'm like, all I could think about is how pissed off I was about them people. And I was about to send Josh down there to go and say, "Hey, get the fuck out of my seat." And I was like, I just kind of like said really loud, "And they're in mine," and pointed to them, and they just like got up and moved.
they just had to move one seat over.
And she's like, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "Don't worry about it." I'm like, I'm just Like, I was so pissed. And then Josh went to go, like, cuddle with me, like put his arm, like, around me or whatever. I'm like, just don't touch me now. I'm like,
no touchy.
No touchy. I'm like, I'm so mad. Touchy. And this was after the movie had already started, like, 5 minutes into it. And I'm like, you're making me miss some fucking movie.
You'll let a feature of the theater take away from your theater-going experience.
I did. But that put me in a bad mood. But before that happened, or after we had already been sitting for 10 minutes, in that 10-minute period, there was 2 other times that happened. It was down in front, like a few rows. Other people having the same thing where they were showing the phone saying, get out of my seat. And then it was another one down to our left, had the same thing, get out of my seat. I'm like, do people not understand?
Is it because of the type of chairs they are?
No.
Why does that theater have that stupid system then?
I don't know.
So that way you are guaranteed a spot to where you know you're going to be.
Or you could sell the amount of tickets that are in the chair or number of chairs in the theater.
But here's
really
my issue with theaters that don't have assigned seating. If it's like a major release weekend, most of the seats are going to be taken. There's going to be like one chair here, one chair here, one chair here, one chair here available, and then maybe the front row.
That was the problems for years.
So Regal,
this takes out that
This is the theater we go to. Takes
it
that
replaces
problem
the problem with the one you had.
It does, but it's really like a simple fix. I bought these seats. Get the fuck out of my seat.
And it's a simple fix. You can go to people in charge.
Well, yeah.
When there's a theater that doesn't have assigned seating,
that was our next line of defense, was go to those people that
Alex.
I'm sorry, I'm really pissed off at this. This happens every freaking time. So the Regal theater that we go to, if you have your seat already assigned, you can go to the people in charge and get people kicked out. That's the spot that you paid for. In other theaters, you can't do that. You're kind of screwed.
Well,
yeah.
You're screwed.
Isn't it also easier just to be early for the movie?
I don't know. Why were we?
Because you were hungover.
Oh, because I was hungover.
And you guys are known for not being.
We don't get there.
I'm sorry we're not on your level of freaking punctuality.
We typically get there
saying.
10 to 15 minutes before the movie, not a half an hour before the movie.
Who gets there a half hour early other than you?
I don't know anybody that does.
I don't know if I know.
The only time I did was in high school.
Yeah, in high school
because you had nothing else to do.
Because we had nothing else to do, and we were just hanging out at the theater.
But getting there 15 minutes before the movie starts, and then waiting in concessions for 10 minutes, and then walking to your chair.
We don't get concessions that often, and you know that. We've already talked about this.
Yeah.
Well, you did, except the one time when it ended up being 20 minutes.
That was when we were seeing the stupid Lego Batman movie, and I'll never see that movie again. I'm going to punch Lego in the face. Oh, that's right. Ninjago comes out.
Oh, when Lego Movie 2 comes out.
That's it. Yeah, I'll see that.
Okay, let's get off of that. Anyways,
talk about the movie.
Yeah, we never got on to the...
I just wanted to make that clear that obviously this pissed me off and put me in a bad mood before watching the damn movie.
Halfway through the movie, I turned to you. I was like, this is so much better than the fourth one already.
It is, yes.
Better
will
story.
definitely say that. Shout out to Geek Street Podcast, who was on Instagram with us for our precast meeting today, which they had asked the question, is it better than the last movie? Answer to that easily between Josh and I is yes, it is better than the fourth movie.
It's so much better. In fact, I think
is it one of the best Pirates of the Caribbean movies? No.
I still think the third one's the best, personally.
I was going to say, I would think most people side with the first.
I don't think the first one is. I would say...
Do you like the second one?
The second one was...
Dead Man's Chest.
Dead Man's Chest. And that was with the Kraken?
Yeah.
Right? And then what was the third one?
At World's End.
I think that one was
That's
the best
third one. I said the third one was the best.
I think the third one is the best one.
Had the best action.
Because I feel like 2 went down a step and then 3 brought it like right back up. So that's why we were so stoked to see a fourth. And then it was like, what the hell is this? It's like a side story Pirates of the Caribbean.
But the fifth, we'll take it along we'll do a...
As far as I'm sorry, Josh, but as far as like the beginning part, like Brett was talking about, he had said the beginning being one of the worst openers. Do you agree with that?
No,
I don't agree with it either.
No, worst opening as in money made.
I don't agree. I don't agree that it should have been, because people were so let down by the fourth one. That's why they're not seeing the fifth one.
I totally thought you meant opener as in like opening to the movie.
I'm these are numbers. I'm not making this up. I'm like, what do you mean? You disagree?
I seriously thought what you meant opener. I meant you meant opening scene, because that's how a lot of the pirates.
We're almost an hour in and we're still on playing and watching.
It's fine.
Now we're talking about you went and saw this movie. Guess that's
We haven't even talked about anything else.
It's okay,
It's
I looked
fine.
over. It's all right.
It's fine. Anyways, why don't you just go ahead and do your review since you're thinking to do so.
Oh, I can talk again. I have permission. I'm so thankful. Get out of here. So, first of all, one of the longest openings in a film, like the opening scenes, like it. I want to say that Javier Bardem did a good job playing as this freak.
Captain
He has like
Salazar.
half of his head missing or
Salazar.
something, right?
Well, a lot of people had shit missing in this movie. Like there was a bird who was missing half of its leg, but the bottom half of its
Was
foot
still
was
there.
still there.
Like a ghost, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, these were ghosts. I'm gonna kind of give a little bit of a story like line. What happened is Johnny Depp's character trapped Salazar Slytherin. I'm in Harry Potter now. Captain Salazar in the Devil's Triangle, which is the Bermuda Triangle.
Right.
Trapped him in there, and his ship. What?
A long time ago.
A long time ago, yeah. When Captain Jack became Captain Jack, he was like, they tried to make him look really young. I don't know what it is with Disney and bringing young people in, or good CGI for young people. Like they did that with Tron, they did that with Pirates, and they did that with Star Wars. The whole thing there. Anyways, so he traps him in the Devil's Triangle, and the only way to get him out is to get the compass that Jack Sparrow ever so loves. Here's my problem with that plot right there. He has given that compass away multiple times in the original trilogy.
See, I thought so. I was trying to remember that in the.
He's given it to Orlando Bloom. He's given it to who's the short blonde dude?
A short. Blonde.
He's the antagonist in the second and third one.
Oh.
He has the big ship.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember his name.
Gosh, people are probably yelling at us.
Anyways.
So he's given away this compass multiple times, but in this one, he gives it away for a bottle of rum, and suddenly the curse is lifted to where they can leave the Bermuda Triangle.
Like he betrayed the compass, pretty much, is what they said.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did. That was one thing I was kind of like, really? That's it?
Yeah. I don't want to go into too much spoiler because, I mean, it just came out. Moving on from there, like, the fact that they had the returning character of Orlando Bloom and...
Sorry.
Ooh.
Dang.
and
And the main character was his son. And I liked him. I liked him a lot.
Spoilers.
I'm not getting into anything else.
Okay.
There is a girl who's a scientist who keeps on being claimed as a witch because she knows science and astrology
Because
very
women back, like, they kind of do a good job at, this is how women were portrayed back in the day, kind of thing.
well. You can see the age on Orlando Bloom. Like you can.
He's
see
aged.
it. He is not aging gracefully. Like,
He still looks pretty damn good.
There was a time.
But you can see that he is aging. Yeah.
There was a time between Lord of the Rings and Pirates that he didn't age.
He doesn't look like a baby anymore.
Yeah, like Lord of the Rings.
He looks like a man.
Lord of the Rings. Alex.
Yes.
when was the third one released? Was that 2000?
Like 04, I thought.
That's what I thought too. Like
Okay.
it was like almost back to back annually.
Yeah.
And then Pirates came out. They did the whole trilogy, and the third one was done. I think it was 2008 or 2007 was the third one. So during that time frame, Orlando Bloom did not age, but in this movie, you can tell he's just like he's getting older. So personally, I'm gonna give my score after you give your little bit of it. But I enjoyed this film. A lot better action. There were some throwaway scenes, and the villain was a little throwaway at the end. Personally, I think so. It didn't. I think the story kind of fell apart in the third act,
I agree.
and they didn't know what they were doing with the plot line. So personally, I enjoyed it. I will see it again. I'll probably even buy it because it's a Pirates movie and I have the first four. Why not get the fifth one? So, but you have some stuff to say and then we can say our scores.
I just wanted to hear your score.
I'm going to give this one an 8.
Wow.
It's a lot higher than I thought.
Yeah, because I love Javier Bardem. I loved him in No Country for Old Men, and I loved him in Skyfall. So good. Such a great villain.
He's a good villain.
They could have used him a little bit better in this film. But
I feel like he's turning into Daniel Day-Lewis, where he does like one
Method
role
acting.
every 2 years.
Method
or so.
acting, that's the thing. I love Javier Bardem, and they could have done a little bit more with him, and it was a little bit of a waste at the end. They probably even could have brought him in for the 6th one, which it still might happen. I don't know, but the story kind of fell. They didn't know what they were doing with the ending there.
I mean, bad opening doesn't mean it's going to bomb. I mean, it still could make money over time.
Right. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a good film. I did enjoy the returning characters that came in and the shocks that you're like, oh my god, this person is related to this person, or this person knows this person that by this. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna say who, but it was good. It was really good.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna start off by telling you my score.
Go ahead.
A 6.5.
Okay.
Which for me it's low. For me that means it was okay. Like it was okay. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. It was an okay watch. I don't really necessarily agree with buying it because I don't know if it's a movie.
So you didn't like it?
I did not like it enough to say I want to see it again. And I've not seen a movie for a while that I've been able to say.
Can you elaborate a little bit?
Well, for one, I agree with a lot of things that you said. I feel like the story was all over the place. It was not rough. There was not a goal that they started off by saying, this is what we're going to do and this is how it's going to finish. It was all over the place. Mm-hmm. It was very hard to understand. I could not even imagine a child that is a fan of this watching it and understanding it one bit, because there's the compass and then there's this and then there's that and then there's the trident that they're trying to get, which everything coming into play does not, it all just doesn't fit. Like it's like a jigsaw puzzle that doesn't really come together very well.
It kind of fell apart.
And then the way that we did not read the reviews and everything on this before we went and saw it, just to kind of give us our own perspective.
When it was zero expectation.
Yes, so zero expectation whatsoever, other than just watching a trailer. And so, as far as Javier Bardem, I really enjoyed his character, but I'm going to agree and say that they could have pushed that and used him so much more. Mm-hmm. The first opening scene was
so
pure dark, and just he nailed his that. But that's the thing, though. We started off the movie by nailing his character, and then his character just kind of went roller coaster down, mm-hmm. And then it was. His character was meaningless pretty much by the end of the movie.
The guillotine scene was so funny. The joke from Paul McCartney. That was so good.
There is a joke in there that's pretty funny. So I would go tell people to go see it just for the one-liners that are in it, because that's what the Pirates of the Caribbean movies have. They have one-liners in there from Captain Jack and
Barbosa.
I feel also that Captain Jack Sparrow's character is a little overdone in this movie. I think it's less.
I think the 4th one was more overdone.
Yeah, definitely. But compared to the other 3 movies, it's still like they're really pushing.
He wasn't that main of a character in this one.
He wasn't, but it's like they were really pushing. Like he was overacting pretty much for Captain Jack, which is weird because he's been this character for so long.
Johnny Depp's probably just getting tired of it.
Maybe, I don't know, but I mean, I don't really want to go too much deeper into it. That's really.
You're giving it a pretty low score.
And like I said, it was because I bet you my mood had a lot to do with it. But really, I found myself just I was yawning, and I told you at the end of the movie, I'm like, Mal, that was a long movie, and he said, no, it was 2 hours. I'm like, it felt like it was 3 to me. Like it just felt like it dragged. It was a good movie.
I'm disappointed in your review.
You know what? We can have our own reviews, but that's fine. I gave it a 6.5 out of 10.
Boo. I thought you liked it more.
Oh, and I also said at the beginning of this, there's a stinger at the end, which there's nothing. I don't understand it.
We'll have to discuss that.
If there's somebody that wants to,
off the record
if
here.
somebody wants to email us, and so it's not a spoiler on social media, and that you guys know exactly what they're trying to do with another movie, then go by all means tell us, because I am so incredibly lost, even being a fan of the movie. So, but anyways, let's move on to something else.
Did you play anything? Wait, we're still talking about watching. We still have other stuff.
Oh, there was one thing that I really wanted to say that we've been wanting to talk about.
Oh, did you want to say the joke from Pirates first?
No, I don't, because I want people to go and watch it.
Oh, okay. It's really funny. It's
not even the joke that's funny. It's just the scene.
It's the scene.
The scene is funny really about good. The joke. So, but yes, if you go and see it, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, moving on. As far as watching goes, Josh and I have really gotten into Naked and Afraid, and I started watching it just as one of those shows when I'm home and he's not. And then Josh actually started sitting down going, wow, I've been thinking about this all day. I kind of want to watch some more. So we actually ended up finishing, I think it's like, season 4 is on Hulu?
We watched season 4, and then we also started watching. We started and finished Naked and Afraid XL season 1,
which is they take the winners of the top people from Naked and Afraid all the seasons, just 12 of them, I believe, and then they put them all together in groups of 3. And they eventually all get together at the end.
But the longevity of them being out in the wild, for the original Naked and Afraid, it's 21 days.
21 days. No food, no water, no clothes.
You can go 21 days without food. You can only go so many days without water, though.
Right.
And
this one was 40 days and 40 nights.
40 days and 40 nights.
Wow.
So it was a lot more. But there is a group in there that, or a couple of guys that Josh and I just absolutely loved. And like I said, this is Naked and Afraid XXL. XL?
Yes.
Okay, well, either way. This was the group of guys, or the 2 guys that we liked was called, their names were Jeff and EJ.
Yep, they're the alpha males.
They were called the alpha males. They set these people up in a group of 3 women, and then a group of 2 men, 1 woman, and a group of 2 women, 1 man, and then a group of
3 men.
3 men. Yep. And within a couple days, one got the 3 men group, the alpha male group. He dropped out from severe dehydration. So now there's just 2 guys. So those 2 guys, they're trying to find a source of protein. And like I said on the precast, this was such a funny, this is how I'm going to say it's male logic.
It was a wombat,
or
right?
guy logic.
Was it a wombat?
No, it was a snake.
Oh, it was a snake. Okay.
It's like this cobra or something, and they're in the middle of the woods, and they're trying to find protein. They finally find this snake, and Jeff, the younger guy, goes, EJ, come over here. And he's really quiet because he's got like this stake up, like he's gonna strike at him, and he's like, EJ, come here. I found a snake. And then you just hear the snake going, and he's like, if I move, he's gonna strike. And then EJ comes off to the side and goes, okay, man, I'm going to hit him with a stick.
It's one of the best lines ever. Then he does, and he falls, and the snake escapes. It's so funny.
It's like the best, guy logic.
I'm going to hit him with a stick.
Okay, man. I'm going to hit him with a stick. It's so freaking funny. We had to go back and watch it. And then later on, the same freaking thing happens. They go into they trail off to this news site called Piranha Lake, and this it's home for electric eels, like 6-foot electric eels, and
piranhas,
caiman, and piranhas, and a bunch of stuff
flesh eating
and shocking things. Okay, so they set up camp, and the first thing that they see is Jeff is like, this is he's an amazing hunter. He collects a whole bunch of food. He ends up collecting 3 eels, 6-foot eels. Okay, so these are electric eels. He gets in there.
How many? 6,000 volts?
600 volts, or I don't know.
It's a high amount.
It's enough to be able to kill a person if they shock you.
Put you in the respiratory arrest.
So the same fucking thing happens, and Jeff finds one, gets a wooden stake, a long stick stake, and gets nails him in the head, traps him, but he's still flopping around. It's a 6.5-foot large ass electric eel, and he's like, God, I got him, but we're gonna have to cut his head off or whatever. And okay, so he's like, give me the machete. So he's holding on with one hand, takes the machete, and completely forgets this fucking thing is electric. Sets it down and goes, ah!
He shakes. He's like, gah!
So same freaking thing. He's like, all right, man, I'm gonna hit him with a machete.
A metal
machete.
And he's like, all right. And then he was still, the eel's still flopping around, and he's like, I gotta do it again. And he's like, So he hands the machete to EJ. EJ comes over and goes, all right, man, let me do it. And he's like, good, dude, be careful. This thing, when it hits you, it's like a horse kicking you in the chest. Sure enough, he's like, he's a bigger guy, and he's like, oh, man, whatever. It's so freaking, but we gotta eat.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's really, it's addicting, but they push the drama.
They push the drama. They do. I mean, it's true drama.
Side.
It's what it is, but
they don't need it.
It's true drama, though. It's what happens.
Not all of it.
When you're put in a group of people that are starving and dehydrated for 40 days.
Some of it's antagonized, Alex.
It is.
It's reality TV. It's not a documentary.
No,
Right.
but I mean, I all the stuff that did happen was stuff that I could see happening in real life. So,
Yeah.
Well-
but either way, it's a very good show, and that was just that team was just hilarious and kept the show going for us just because they were so. I'm gonna hit him with a stick. Like, okay, but that's it. That's I think all we're watching.
Seinfeld. We're
and
going
then
on
we're
with that.
watching
We're in
Seinfeld.
season 5 now.
Yeah.
Haven't
Yeah.
got to the raincoats. That's 6. Or
I think
season
that was
5?
6. The most recent episode, George was a marine biologist.
Oh, that's a great episode.
The ending was so conclusive.
Is
It
that
was
a-
so
is that
good.
Is that a title list?
Yeah. Well, the fact he pulls, Alex never saw the episode. She was asleep.
Sorry.
But it's a really good episode.
It is.
Go
Like
back
the
tonight and
ending.
watch it.
The ending is just so.
It's hilarious.
It's great. It's a good
the way
turnaround.
George tells the story is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. He seems. I was like, okay, no, he didn't really do this. And then suddenly, what he takes out of his pocket, I'm like, wow, he really did it. But good show. I love Seinfeld. Still going on with that. And as far as playing goes, the only thing we have is other than Pokemon Go was Borderlands.
I went
Still going.
a little old school and played some Vice City on an original Xbox.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Didn't you rebuy that for the Xbox 360?
No, Vice City has not been re-released except for on iOS.
What was it then?
San Andreas.
San Andreas.
The San Andreas was a port from the iOS to the 360.
Really?
Yeah, so it was actually, I wish they would do that with Vice City and 3.
Huh.
But they have not. Well, I mean, they're on iOS, but it's fun. And actually, it holds up pretty good.
How do you play Grand Theft Auto on a tablet?
They have the touch buttons. It's not easy. Like,
I don't see it being easy. No.
I tried a little bit because they were super cheap one time, and I bought them, but it's hard to do.
Okay.
Because you got to have, and there's some places where you need to have some somewhat precision driving, or good enough, and you just can't do that without physical buttons.
Right, and
in
I'm
my
sure
opinion.
the driving's a little swimmy because they didn't get the driving down until 5.
Well, yeah,
4 was bad.
4 was pretty bad. Yeah,
Like I don't think I can go back.
I actually fired it up just to try it out,
Oh really?
and it's not quite as bad as maybe you remember, but it's not. Nothing compares to 5. 5's the best driving mechanic of any game. So, nothing will ever measure up to that.
Right, I totally agree. So, moving on.
Do you want to do your story, Brett?
Yeah, we'll talk about my story.
I want to hear this.
Is this mine?
Oh, it ain't mine, and it's sealed. So, okay.
taking
So I had
taking this.
a instant the other night. This guy knocks on the door, and he was from a company called Dish One, which I had never heard of. And basically, Dish
Like a
One.
Dish one.
Cable
Yep.
company?
Well, I'll get to that.
Okay.
So he starts pitching to me about getting TV, satellite TV, and he basically presented it as it would replace Sling, because I use Sling, and it would cost the same. So basically, I'd be freeing up my bandwidth or my broadband by having a satellite TV. And because I'm a Frontier customer, so Dish One was basically a subcontractor from Dish Network. But because I was a Frontier customer, that gave me a good price, which made no sense to me.
No.
So he went through his whole sales pitch, and I knew what he was doing because I used to sell
Sales.
too. So it was like 8:30 at night too.
Wow, that's pretty late.
Yeah. And I said, well, I'm not going to make any decision right now, especially not without consulting Casey.
Right.
And he's like, well, because he actually talked to her first. And she wanted me to take over. And he's like, well, from what she told me, she sounds just all into it. Like, dude, I know what you're doing. It's okay. I understand you have to, but no, I'm not going to say yes without talking to her.
Yeah.
And she was actually had some people over for her business, but so she couldn't be talked to anyway. So I'm like, well, can I call you? Do you got a business card? I don't carry cards. Like, dude, you're soliciting.
Yeah.
If you're selling a product, have a business card.
Right?
It just makes sense.
A way to
How do
get-
you not have a business card?
Exactly. So
We don't.
I'm like, all right. So
We're not selling.
No.
He's like, well, what you can do is you can sign up now, and then if you talk to her and you decide you don't want it, call me and you can cancel it.
That's not a good thing to do.
It's not.
I did
he's
that.
Also, like we'll schedule install like right now too. Mm-hmm. And he had a tablet, you know, and I'm like, he's like, okay, they can be here. It was Thursday. They can be here Saturday. I'm like, oh wow, that's fast.
Yeah.
And it actually ended up being scheduled for Sunday. So he finishes up his pitch and, you know, gets me signed up and everything. And because I was pretty sure we probably weren't going to go through with this. Mm-hmm. But, you know, gave him what he needed and he left. So I immediately go call Frontier. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, he mentioned me being a Frontier product, but yet he's selling Dish Network satellite TV.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I go call Frontier and like, well, we don't really know anything about that, but let me get you over to Dish Network, which they actually were able to connect me. So I talked to them, and now it was late at night, and they're like, well, yeah, we do have several companies that subcontract for us, so you know, it doesn't surprise me. And I'm like, well, it's just, you know, it's 8:30 at night. It's just really, it was very suspicious.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I understand completely, you know? And I'm like, okay. So, and the guy texted me 2 customer service numbers. So he's like, well, tell me what those numbers are. So I gave him one. He's like, well, yeah, that's my number. So it is legit.
Okay.
Because I even Googled it before.
Contacting Dish.
Yeah. To see if it's, you know, because you can, if it's out there, it's on Google.
Yep.
And all I could find were like, if you wanted to apply for a position at this company.
Yeah.
So, and the guy was nice. I mean, he was super professional, except not having business cards. I think if you're a sales rep, have a business card.
Right.
You know?
Always.
So, so I called him. He's like, yeah, everything is legit. And I said, all right. So then we decided not to go with it just because we kind of like, I mean, I understand, but Dish, you know, I've heard horror stories about satellite companies and your contracts with them and not being able to get out of them and all that crap.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided not to go with it. I called them the next day and basically canceled it. So didn't have to worry about it. And they didn't show up because I was worried that even if we got it canceled, they were going to show up on Sunday ready to install.
Right.
And I was going to have to be like, no, don't touch the house.
No touchy.
No touchy.
Go away. And then I just got to thinking, you know, I'm not sure about laws on soliciting in neighborhoods.
Yeah.
I would never want to do it because you see all the time how somebody will come up to your house, claim to be legit, and there's 3 guys running in after you open the door, you know, because they use a plant to get you to open the door, and then they come in and rob you.
You've heard of that happening?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it does.
It's, especially during the holidays, like people have posed as like UPS drivers, and you go to open the door thinking you have a package, and there's 3 of his buddies run in and they rob you. It's all over. Like
I've never heard of that
I've
happening.
never heard of it, but I'm sure that
That's
kind of
a
thing
thing.
is a thing.
Yeah.
I've seen 2 different instances just this year, and one of them was around Christmas of like
I've just heard people like
porch,
stealing shit off of your porch.
That
porch
happens.
security cams. You know, someone posing as a male person or someone with a clipboard knocking on your door, wait for you to open, and that's when they rush in and
Honestly,
rob
if
you.
I'm not expecting anything, I don't open it. I
Well,
wait for them to go away.
That's exactly what
You gotta be.
my philosophy is. If you're not expecting,
If I'm not
anyone-
expecting anything and they're not, unless I see a freaking UPS truck in front of my house, I don't open it.
Well, here's the thing, though. We have an extra lock on our door.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a rig. It's with our bathroom door.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
if we want to open it,
If I really want to open to crack it, they're not going to
you
get
can
in.
pull a
You-
Scream. Remember in Scream when she
Yeah.
uses the closet door?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A scary movie as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just it
That's the one thing
connects with the
I
doorknob,
like
but it can't move.
about this apartment is that I love it and I hate it because if we're coming home and we forget to shut that door,
it'll lock.
it
Opens up.
it opens up and we try to open up the door and we try to get into our own
All of a sudden,
apartment
just hear a doom,
and
doom.
we can't get in, and I'm like the one that's skinny enough to put my hand around to
Yeah.
push the door closed.
Yep.
But it makes me nervous as hell when someone shows up on my doorstep.
We had that happen to us last, I want to say 3 years ago. when we first moved here, we got that guy asking us about donating for the Boys and Girls Club.
That was a little over the top.
Yeah.
I was outside, like we were getting ready to go somewhere.
I don't
and
know what we were doing.
We were getting ready to go, and I was outside in the car, and I had the trunk open putting stuff in there, and he walks right up to me, like scares me to death, and he's like, "Hey, do you have a second to talk about blah blah?" I'm like, I'm kind of busy. We're getting ready to go. He's like, "Oh, it'll take 5 minutes." I'm like,
That's all it is. They always say it. It'll only take 5 minutes.
No, I'm getting ready to go. And I'm kind of like looking at Josh, and the guy just automatically starts talking. He's like, for $5 right now, I can get you blah blah. I'm like, no. And like Josh ends up coming out. I'm thinking he's gonna save me, and he ends up going, "Oh, hey man, do you got a second? Do you live here?" Blah like, and
So
it was
he just stopped talking to you and went over
and
to
then
Josh?
started talking to Josh, and it was he was a really nice guy, and I think just to kind of get him off our hands, we just gave him some money, and
we gave him like $12.
It was like, it was a really small amount or whatever, but we're like, go. But this guy he was really nice, and he was really good about selling things, but the way he approached us scared me.
Yeah,
like,
he was a little
and he would not let me go.
Yeah.
At the last apartment complex I lived at, I was solicited once in the same situation. I was taking stuff in, and it was a smaller complex, and I actually got saved by the maintenance guy. He was driving by, and he saw him, and he's like, "You need to go. There's no soliciting in here."
Well, that's the thing. There is stuff posted everywhere
matter. They
that there
just
is no
ignore it.
soliciting allowed in this apartment complex, and we get it all the time.
And
We had a magazine one or a newspaper one recently, didn't we?
I didn't open the door.
I've had
I did.
the coupon books. Like, a guy actually got mad at me because I wouldn't buy, because he's like, "Don't you want to save money?" I'm like, "Dude, I just don't use them. I don't."
You know
use
how
coupons."
long it took you to get a Kroger card?
Yeah.
You
That's the
were
easiest
so
freaking
against
thing.
it. It's
That's-
like
I
Easiest
wasn't
thing.
against the Kroger card. I was against the fact that she singled me out.
that. You want to tell that
Every
story?
time.
Did you
I'll
tell
tell
it?
it in a minute. But the guy with the coupon book was like mad at me because I wouldn't save money, and I'm like, "Look, I don't use them. You know, I'm not going to buy them." He's like, "Never mind," and he walks away. No, thank you for your time. Nothing like that. I'm like, "Get the hell out of here, dude."
Like, you're the one that
What a
chose
douchebag.
that chose that job.
So
Right.
basically, the quick Kroger story is there was a Kroger by the apartment that I lived at that I went into, not all the time because I did most of my grocery shopping at Walmart because I worked there.
Right.
But I would go in there because it was really close, like really close.
Have you seen it now?
Oh, it's way
It's
different.
huge.
It's huge.
Enormous.
They call it the Kroger Marketplace. It's
Yeah.
big.
It's really
It's
nice.
really nice.
But, well, and it's got some general merchandise too, I think.
Yeah,
So, this one lady, I always go through the self checkouts.
always.
And this one lady seemed to be there 4 out of the 5 times that I would go. And every single time I went, she would, even if I needed her help or not, which I didn't because I know how to work the machines on like 50% of the population,
Right.
she would nag me about the stupid Kroger card. And I'm like, "No, leave me alone. Just let me check out." That's why I go to self checkouts, so I don't have to talk to the cashier.
Right. Samesies.
Because I'm getting like 2 things, you know?
Normally be like a bottle of Code Red or maybe like a bottle of Captain Morgan or something.
Exactly. I'm just like, I know she's doing it probably because she knows I don't have one.
Mm-hmm.
And it just pissed me off.
I don't know if you guys can hear the dog barking.
No, probably not.
I
It's
can
not,
hear it
it's
a
not
little
that
Now, if I'm buying a cartload of groceries, and I do have one now, because finally I got so ticked off, I'm like, just do it. And leave me the hell alone.
Right.
But yeah, if you got a cart full of groceries, it's a great way to save. But
It is.
I was literally buying 2 or 3 things at a time.
We saw Brian there on Sunday.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Who's
Sunday.
Brian?
Doe?
Tony's brother.
Tony's
yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
We
He
didn't
was there
see
with
him
his
in
son.
years.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there with
We
his
just had a
kid.
short conversation, hi,
Yeah,
bye.
It was
kind of
pretty
thing.
awesome. He's like, he's catching up.
We
But
got a little tiny bit of time left.
did I tell you guys about my self-checkout story that happened the other day?
No, go
where
ahead.
I already told this to Alex, and she gets bad experiences going to Kroger on the weekends. See, me, I always do my grocery shopping on the weekdays. That way I have the weekend, and I don't have to go anywhere.
Go like 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. Nobody's there.
That's true.
During the weekday?
Yeah.
I'm always working
When
at
you
that
were
time.
usually
I know. But
Anyways.
yes.
Yeah, that's where less people are there. So this one time, this was probably about 2 weeks ago. I don't know why I didn't tell this on the podcast before, but it was just me, and I was checking out, and this lady had had cash, and she was wondering registers are cash only, or have cash, or do cash.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember you telling me
Well,
this.
don't they all do cash?
Not all of them. Some of them say card only because they can't. Their machine's breaking down or
or
something.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So I was sitting there. I don't know if you remember the one in Georgetown very well.
Yep.
I'm at the one that's by the customer service desk.
Okay.
That's the far corner.
Yep.
And so I'm there checking out, and this lady's like, "Does this one do cash?" I was like, "Maybe, I don't know. We'll see when
Why is she asking you?
Because this is rush hour time, pretty much. It's like
Okay.
5 or 6 o'clock at night.
But my point is, you don't work there.
Right.
Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
not. It gets worse.
Just tell him.
So I have my cart there, and I'm putting stuff on, and I'm checking out, and I'm putting my cart in and everything, and I'm waiting for my receipt, and I'm starting to put the bags away. And this lady starts moving my cart away from me. I'm like, nope, I need that. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just getting ready for my turn.
Taking it.
She was taking it away,
Like to
pushing
move
it
him out of the way so
Yes.
she can start checking out.
I was like, I'm still waiting on my receipt here, woman. I haven't even pulled off my groceries off. So I'm like, nope, I need that. And she's like, oh, well, blah. I don't remember what she said, but I grabbed everything off, put it on the cart, and she immediately was starting to check out. And I'm just like, patience is a virtue in this world.
No one has it anymore.
Nobody has it. I don't
do.
have it very often. Alex doesn't have it very often.
What are you talking about? I have lots of patience.
You are not patient with people.
I have lots of patience for
Brett,
different
you've had
things.
plenty of stories of not being patient with people. and
I can, yes.
some people suck.
Well.
I'll just say that. Like
Sometimes.
working in retail, you kind of get an idea
Oh, yeah.
of
Well, any customer service job
right.
where you work with people.
Yeah. Are we hitting time? Or you want anything else to touch on?
Well, I'll just mention this real quick. So,
And then I have a shout out.
okay.
Good.
Kathy Griffin
Oh,
posted a photo of a prop of a bloody, beheaded Donald Trump head.
Did you see the naked one?
Naked one what?
There was a naked Trump statue that went around while the president race was going on.
I did not. But regardless of what side you support, that is not a good thing. you know?
Right.
It's just, I mean, I know celebrities try to make political statements. That's not a good one. You should. That can't do good for your career. And apparently, she's employed by CNN because she does like.
How does she think that's funny?
I know. I saw it
I'm
and I was
not
like,
sure.
I can't even put this on YouTube.
no.
I'm not sure it's supposed to be funny because she has been very outspoken about how she does not support.
A lot of
fears
people don't
him.
support.
Don't show me that. I don't.
That is the worst. I can't even put that on YouTube without us getting marked. So
But-
I'm sorry, guys. You just have to Google search it.
But
I'm not doing that.
CNN is taking some serious heat because they haven't. A lot of people are calling for saying she needs to be fired. For that. And
that's a. I mean, did you see it?
Oh yeah,
That's a threat to the president. In
I
a
know.
sense. That's saying I'm going to scalp you if I get the chance.
They can look at that's the problem. No. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it because we don't do politics and we're not going to do it. So I'm.
It's just pretty significant because I guess it was supposed to be some like something to do with Game of Thrones because I guess Game of Thrones one of the seasons had like a President Bush head on a stake
that was
or
season
something.
1.
Yeah.
That was one of the heads.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I
So
didn't
that
realize
was
that.
it was supposed to be kind of connected to that it was her doing so.
Bush wasn't president at the time when that came out. I don't
Either
think.
way, it was a president's head.
Well, if you think about it, considering this situation, George Bush was a Republican, the president, the last Republican president that we had.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump is a Republican. So, I mean, that's all I'm going to say. We don't talk about politics, but
that is gross. If you guys want to look it up, do it. I don't recommend it.
I don't recommend it.
It
turned my stomach.
It was tasteless, bad. I mean,
bad form.
I couldn't imagine the people in her ear, her manager, her agent, whatever, knowing about this and not saying that's a terrible idea.
It's not good. It's not good. I mean, some people will be like, "Oh yeah, haha," but I mean, no. Don't do that. You don't do that. That's
pretty bad.
That's bad. So
anyway,
we're gonna end our podcast on that note. Alex, you had a shout out. It is shout out time.
It is shout out time. I'm going to do a shout out to Uninformed Critics. It is a podcast and it's a pretty cool idea. I listened to their podcast on Sunday.
They've been tweeting at you.
They have been, because they used my suggestion that I suggested on their Twitter. So they did a shout out to me and used me in their podcast. And I went ahead and I took a listen. And
They used you.
Yes, they did. But I'm going to tell you guys to go ahead and go check them out, just because their idea with their podcast is actually very interesting. I'm like, wow, why didn't we think about that? But it is a podcast in which two brothers watch a random TV show TV show somewhere in the middle, and then they try to figure out what in the world's going on. Like, they just, some random thing they've never seen before, they turn it on, some random episode, and then they watch it. And then they do like a review on it and try to figure out what's going on, and then they look it up and see how right they are or whatever. Like, it's a pretty interesting idea. So the suggestion...
They would be really, like, confused if they started Game of Thrones in the middle of a season somewhere.
Yeah, they would.
Because that's a very confusing show already.
They had asked... I don't know. It was a while ago. They had asked for TV show suggestions. So I went ahead and I followed them on Twitter, and I saw that, and I made the suggestion of, made like 3 or 4 suggestions. And in one of those suggestions was This Is Us. Mm-hmm. And I said, it's a great show. Go ahead and try it. And they watched the, I think it's one of the last episodes where that big fight scene was. Mm-hmm. I don't think you watched it with me.
I watched some of it.
So they watched that episode, and they also have, or they keep track of, in these TV shows that they do, they keep a top 3, like shows that they are interested in and want to watch or whatever. And I pushed This Is Us to their number 1 spot by them watching this one episode.
Do you know what the 2 and 3 were?
I don't. I think Pretty Little Liars was on there, and then one other one.
It's pretty big.
Casey's watching that right now.
So I think that was.
I hear it's a good show.
I don't know if that was on. I don't remember what the other show was that's in their top 3. But the review that they gave on it and them trying to figure it out, they did a pretty good job at reviewing it. And they said that themselves, they are really not into family drama shows or anything like that. But the fact that these guys they're not into it, and they watched this one episode, which just happens to be one of the best episodes. Mm-hmm. As far as like even that fight scene that I talked about a while back on the podcast, when I did watch this episode, it grabs you to the point where you're like, if you've not seen it before and you saw that episode, you're going to go, I want to watch this. Yeah. It's just, they did a really good review on it. And I think that their concept for their podcast is very interesting. So I was just, shout out to them, and thanks for using my suggestion. And there you go.
Shout out. Yo.
All right. You can plug it in, Josh.
Now it's time to plug it in. That was, so we're going to start off with our... I always fuck up on the plugs now.
Go ahead.
So just remember, guys, if you are listening to us, you can follow us on other apps as well. We are on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, Blueberry, TuneIn, Satchel, the Xbox One podcast app, and Google Play Music. Those are our audio episodes are on all those channels. If you want to follow us on YouTube, you'll see our video podcast in video form. I wanted to get it out on Sunday, but it took way too long to make, and it came out on Monday. But we're still getting people watching it, and it's one of our best ones. More intricate, more interesting.
Made me laugh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Josh did some funny stuff. Good job, Josh.
I did. So check out our YouTube, and just search on YouTube PTO Unlimited, and you'll see us on there. So we thank you guys for liking, sharing, and subscribing for everything that we do and every platform that we are on. If you guys ever want to check us out for our live precast video, we do that every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we are on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. If you want to catch us on Tuesday nights, we are on Exploded Radio at 6 p.m. Central at exploded.com. They play some interesting music around our podcast, and you also get to check us out if you haven't checked us out already. If you want to follow us on any of our social media apps, we are on Facebook, which is facebook.com/PTOUnlimited. Instagram is PTOUnlimited_podcast. We are also on Twitter, which is at PTOUnlimited. If you guys ever want to email us about our t-shirts, if you want us to have any topic suggestions, or maybe just give us a hey, we were listening and we enjoy your show, email us at PTOUnlimited@gmail.com. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I am at Lemke619.
Brett_wings.
Cute_kitty. I know it's kind of messed us up a little bit.
So, Sarah, you are winner of our T-Shirt Tuesday on Facebook. Make sure you give us a message of some sort, and we'll get it to you. We can show it off to the camera. Check us out on YouTube, and you'll see us all wearing the PTO Unlimited podcast shirt. Next week we will start it up on Twitter. So,
Yep.
all right, it's time to head on out of here, guys. It's been a lovely
Been fun.
show.
Yeah.
Bing. So,
Bye.
bye, guys. Thanks for joining.